Hey everybody, I'm Bill. Welcome to Celebrating FarmLife. We're over here at the Fix-It shop today, and what we're going to be doing, it seems like everything has crept up on us, and everything is about due for a service. So we have, for the first thing we're going to be working on is, I have a whole bag of filters here. There's 4 of them in here. And we are going to be working on our Husqvarna zero-turn mower and changing the hydraulic, well, the filters on the hydrostatic drive on the zero-turn mower, because it's been a while since they've been changed, and changing the oil in it. And this is the oil that goes in the hydrostatic drive on there. So then we have over here, we have a whole bag of other filters. There's 3 filters in here. These are for our Kubota tractor. I'm only going to be changing the oil because if anybody's been watching our videos and following along with us, I just changed the hydraulic oil, and they did not have the oil filter in stock at the time when I picked them up. So I went back and bought an oil filter, and while I was there, I went ahead and just picked up 2 new hydraulic filters, one for the hydrostatic and one for the actual hydraulic. So only thing I'm going to be changing in that today is the motor oil. And if we get to it, because the lawnmower is going to take a while. We got plugs to change in it. We have the 2 hydrostatic gear drive filters and the motor oil. So come along with me while we get to that, and let's see what we accomplished today. It is hot and humid. I think it's around like 101 degrees. And the heat index is like 109 or something like that. I'm dripping sweat. I do have me a fan going over here, and I just figured I'd find something that's a little bit in the shade to get out of the heat today, because it's too hot to be in the garden, too hot to do much of anything. But this stuff has crept up on us, and it needs to get done. So I am going to get to it. Alrighty, y'all can get a little bit better view right here. Here's what we're changing out. That filter right there. Alright, let me go get a little socket set and see if we can get that cover off there. The tires here is just a little extra security in case it fell off the jack or something like that. Like I said, y'all, this is about the only thing to do. It is hot and humid and miserable out here today. Y'all can see me dripping sweat, and I'm over here sitting in the shade with a fan going on me. I hope y'all can hear me over the fan. I got it on low. Hopefully it's not too loud. Y'all see that thing was caked up. It's like full of stuff. I clean all that out before I put the new put the new filter on there. All right, let me cut y'all off, get a drain pan, and get a screwdriver and clean around that filter real good in the rag, and we'll go ahead and get this off. Right there, channel outs too. All right, the trick that we're gonna do, this stuff is expensive, y'all. This is actually the cheapest I could find it. And it is $13.99 for 1 quart of this oil. So the trick they told me to do is just to spin the filter off as quick as you can, have the other filter ready to go, and slap it back on before you lose all your oil that's up there. And what it's the equivalent to is 15 weight 50, but it's full synthetic transacts oil for 0-turn mowers. So we're right on the line up there where it's forever been, right there in the little reservoir tanks. There's 2 of them, 1 for each axle. So let me get this filter pre-lubed up on the seal, and we'll get the channel locks, break it free, spin it off real quick, and hopefully get it on there before we lose all our oil. Crossing my fingers on that because I don't want to have to go buy another quart. You always want your seal on your new filter to be lubed up. You don't want to put it on there dry. Alright, that's broke free. Get everything out the way, including this little spacer plate that goes on the wheel. Because I don't want to hit nothing that's going to keep me from being able to put that filter on that's going to hopefully spin it. Lost a lot more oil than I wanted to, y'all. I'm hoping we got enough oil to top that back off. Hopefully. Just looking to see if there's anything visibly wrong with this one. This side has been given a little bit of trouble, not a whole lot, but when you get on a hill, and Mikey noticed it first before me, it would falter a little bit on this side. And the mower has, I believe it just turned 298 hours, which is nothing. And they did do the first service on it at 50 hours, I believe it was, or 100 hours. You had to take it back to the dealer, let them, they changed all this. And it hadn't been changed since. So I'm hoping that just that filter's a little stopped up and we're good to go now. Hopefully it'll run good and we'll have any problems out of it. Because y'all, I really would hate to replace that whole thing. You can order them off Amazon. Haven't priced them yet. I'd actually hate to see the price on them. So, hope it's not that. Let's put this little shield back on here, and that's it for this side. Alright y'all, I'm going to take y'all off to the other side. Let me slap this back together. And I'm going to change one thing. I'm going to take this oil drain pan and I'm going to dump it out into my bigger tank and clean it out, because I want a clean pan to catch the oil that comes out, because if I have to and I don't have enough in this bottle, I can always reuse a little bit of this. So, and I can just filter it out and straighten it back through. So let me go clean that pan and get it ready for the other side, because oh, that's a lot of oil. That stuff came out fast, y'all saw it. So let me go ahead and clean that up. All right, what I'm gonna do now, I noticed when I went to pour the oil in this little reservoir up here for this pod, that there's a little bit of trash. There's like a little low indention in this reservoir, and there's some trash trapped in it. So I got to shot that. I'm gonna go ahead and vacuum that out, because I don't want to wash that down in my new filter. That's clean now. So this is something that's gonna have to be filled up. Y'all can't see me down there. Let me get y'all up here a little bit. This is something that's gonna have to be filled up really slowly. It's just like, it's not even gravity. It's just a tube hooked straight down. It gets no air. So you'll see a bubble come up every now and then, and oil will go down. Bubble will come up, oil will go down, until that pot is full. And then what you do is you just keep adding oil to it until you don't see it bubbling no more, and you can keep it on the full line. All right, let's throw this side back together. I'll put the top on it and just let it sit there. Just leave the top loose so it can get as much air as it needs to. Let's go ahead and throw this tire back on. We'll move to the other side and do the same thing. I did get my drain pan cleaned out, so it's ready to go, because I'm not certain if I'm gonna have enough oil unless I save and recycle some of that oil that come out of it. Definitely want to put our wheel spacer back on. And I didn't video it. As y'all can see, these are brand new tires. The Moore don't have any hours on it. Like I think it's 298, 99 something hours on it, almost 300 hours, which is nothing. But the tires had dry rotted because the Moore's like 8 or 9 years old or something like that. And y'all, these tires were $240 for 2 tires. I cannot find the front ones. I'm still looking for them. They're like an odd metric. For the middle number, they're cracked up pretty bad, but they hold enough air for you to pump them up. And you can cook grass all day and they don't leak down, but they'll leak down by overnight. You come back. So I'm looking for those. I didn't record putting these on. They're sitting right over there. I just changed them out the other day. Hopefully I'll be able to record putting those on. It wasn't that bad at all, just a little bit of soaking water. And I used Mini X over here to break the bead. I cheated with that. it was so much easier just to take the Mini X and crank it up and throw the tire on the ground, put the tooth right on the side of it and pop the bead around and flip it over and do the other side, than it was to sit there and beat on it with a slide hammer or something like that. It was just so much easier. I'll be turning y'all on and off because this isn't the most funnest thing to sit here and watch, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of it here and there as I put the spark plugs in, change the filters down here, the motor oil, stuff like that, make it a little bit easier. And y'all, I just thought of something. I'm gonna go ahead and change the oil because the filter's on this side, and it would make it a lot easier just to leave this tire off. So let's go ahead and do that. I just thought of that. And that would be a lot easier with the tire off of it. Anything to make life a little easier, right? Let me get the oil pan. Take y'all up in there so y'all can see. Y'all, let me tell you, it's absolutely ridiculous. Look at the price on this. $17.99 for an oil filter. That is absolutely ridiculous of what they're charging for stuff now. All right, got the new oil filter on there. Take the drain plug out. Oh, almost got y'all. Let's see what that is. Let me get a better wrench for that, y'all. I got y'all down here where y'all can see good. I tell you, it's the part of that nobody ever says anything about. Like with YouTube, you're sitting here doing YouTube videos and stuff like that and trying to maintain a farm. And that's why stuff like this, let me get y'all up here. That's why stuff like this gets so far behind. It's because you're so busy doing the YouTube, you're so busy trying to maintain your farm and stuff like that, that your equipment gets left in the dark, and your oil changes and services. And as y'all can see, I showed y'all earlier in the video, all the stuff, the zero turn, the truck, and the Kubota tractor all need oil changes. And this right here is way past due, but at least we're getting to it now. Y'all, that thing don't want to come out with nothing. Got a socket this time. Man. Alright, I got it. It took a lot. But I actually got it loose. Y'all, that thing was in there. Bring y'all down here. You'll see the oil coming out. Open the oil fill plug up. Let that come out a little bit quicker. Alright, we got all that drained up, so we're going to put the plug back up in there and then top it back off with motor oil. Alrighty, let's go ahead and put the wheel back on it. I like working on my own stuff because I like knowing what's exactly going on with it. Not guessing if, well, did they really change the oil, or did they really do this? Or are they just charging me for something they didn't do anything like that? So I like knowing and just doing my own stuff. Plus it saves a whole lot of money. If I'd have took this more somewhere to have this done, they probably charge anywhere from $75 to $100 an hour. So the oil change and the 2 filters on the pod and to change the spark plugs, by the time they added overhead and everything else into the parts, it would have been easy $300, $350, $400, something like that to get it back from a shop. And y'all, I just can't afford that. Not every time I need equipment worked on or oil changed or anything like that. That's just ridiculous. You go broke quick like that. All right, let me get everything over to the other side. All right, y'all, a little bit crooked. What I'm doing now is topping the motor oil off, and I have a bunch of bottles of this old motor oil, not used motor oil. It's just bottles I've had, like this right here. It's 30 weight motor oil, and I'm just using them up. I do have some oil for it, some brand new motor oil, but I've had these for a year or two, and there's nothing wrong with them, so I'm gonna go ahead and use them up and just put the brand new motor oil that I just bought, put it on the shelf for if you ever have to add anything or anything like that. So that is staying perfect. We'll have to run it. It's right there on the full line. We'll have to run it and let it get circulated in the filter and everything, and then check it again and after we cut it off. So, all right, let's get over here. I wanted to make sure I put the motor oil in it because y'all, you wouldn't want to crank it up without no motor oil in it. So if I go take it off into something else over there, I'm liable to forget to put the motor oil in it. So wouldn't want to do that. That'd be an expensive mistake. Whoa. Knocked y'all over. All right, hang on a sec. Let me go get my life support system, the fan. Y'all, it is cooking hot out here. I do have that pan cleaned out. I'm not going to use that to put my good my pot oil in. And y'all, I stole Miki's back porch fan. She's probably going to beat me when she finds out I took her fan. But it's hot. Let's let that cut off and I'll tell you something. $18 for that little hydro filter. So $18 per side. And then what was it? I believe $13.99 for a bottle of oil. Y'all, somebody's getting rich. It ain't us. Let that thing cut off so y'all can hear me. Let me cut y'all off and then it cuts off. Alright, that's better. Alright, I'm going to be the first one to admit, blowing yourself off with compressed air is not a smart thing to do. I know how to do it because I've been doing it so long, but it's not a good habit to get into because you can, if you put it too close to your skin, it can shoot air up under your skin and give you get that air bubble, embolism, whatever, I can't think of the name of it, how you pronounce it. But you can get an air bubble in your skin, in your blood, and it can get to your heart and kill you. So, I don't want anybody to be doing that. Don't be blowing yourself off with compressed air. I shouldn't be doing it. I'll be the first one to admit that. I was wrong on that. I just been doing it so long, just blowing the stuff off of me, and I know to hold it a good safe distance, but not everybody knows to do that. So, not a good idea, and don't be doing that. All right, let's get this filter off of here. I know sometimes I do things and people are like, what in the world wrong with that boy? Well, y'all, I work 10 hours a day. It's an hour drive to work, hour drive home. So 12 hours a day, I'm wearing fireproof clothing, arc flash clothing, and steel toe boots. Well, y'all, when I get home, I'm ready to get them steel toe boots off and wear my flip-flops. So usually, regardless of whatever I'm doing, I'm wearing my daggone flip-flops. And yeah, it's not the brightest thing to do. Sometimes I'm doing stuff that, yeah, I should go put some shoes on, something like that. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. I'll be the first one to admit that. Sometimes it's just so daggone hot, you're already sweaty. You just want to get something done. Don't mean it's the safe way. And just like we've been rototillering when I got shot a couple of videos back. And yeah, I was out there barefoot. That morning I'd been rototilling the other garden. I had my pants on, I had my boots on, and I was miserable, sweaty, hot. I mean, soaking wet. I went inside, put my shorts on, put my flip-flops on, and came up there and started. We decided we was going to rototiller that little bed, and I didn't see no harm in it, in going out there with my flip-flops on. But I took them off because I don't like sand in my flip-flops. It drives me nuts. And was rototilling barefoot when I got shot. So, there again, not the brightest thing to do. Just something I decided to do. Just like I admit right here, I probably should have some safety glasses on when I'm blowing all this stuff off. And I'm sitting here talking to y'all instead of getting up going to get safety glasses. It only takes one time though. And you can't take it back. This ain't a safety video. You can't take it back once you do things. Sometimes we all do stuff that we shouldn't, and sometimes you get lucky and nothing happens. And sometimes you're not so lucky. So always be careful and think about things you're doing, just like I just blew that off with all that sand and stuff flying around, easy to get my eye and stuff like that. So I don't want to see anybody hurt. I like to see nobody hurt. So let's go ahead and get this changed out. Got a little bit of dust and a couple of little pieces of sand in my pot when we went over there and started blowing. Alrighty. Let me find my bottle of oil. Go ahead and put some oil on your seal. Have that ready sitting there. Hopefully I won't lose as much oil as I did on the other side. Wipe that off. Try to get anything sand or anything off the other thing. So hopefully won't get none down here in our oil, and that'll be a lot less that I gotta clean out. So let me get y'all down here. Hopefully I won't knock y'all. Think y'all can see right there. Filter right here. Trying to get in a good position so I can do this quick. Wow. Y'all, I hit that one wrong there. Good thing I cleaned the pan out, because I think I dumped everything that was in there out. When I went at this angle, it went up on that little stud that it screws up on, and it went at an angle and locked up. I had to back it back off and start again, and lost every bit of the oil. So, good thing we cleaned it. All right, let's set this over here because I'm gonna have to run that through, and y'all gonna laugh. The best thing I've seen to do stuff like that with is cheesecloth. Run it through some cheesecloth or a couple of rags, and it's good to go. And I ain't talking about doing that with motor oil, but gear oil, something like that, it's okay. You don't strain your motor oil and put your motor oil back in your car. That wouldn't be good. Motor oil actually wears out and it loses all the stuff that keeps your car from falling apart. All right, let's see if there's any gunk in this reservoir and see if we need to vacuum it up too. All right, I got the mower running and I want to show y'all what it's doing. You just have to sit here and let it run and let the pump do its thing, and that will drip down. I've already completely filled it all the way to the top one time, so this is the second time. It's almost I put pretty much the whole quart in it because I want to get as much new oil on this side as I can. This is the one we just lost so much out of. So what I'm going to do is slowly engage the hydrostatic with the arm and let it just slowly, because it could blow some up there. Just do it slowly so it'll start pulling some more oil down. And then I'm already starting to strain that used oil, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it ready and put some of that in there too. All right, now we're on to the spark plugs while we wait on that oil to seep down in there, and then I'm gonna have to drive it around some and let it get on down, and then just keep adding oil to it. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I got the fan sitting right there. One good thing they did do, they made these mowers, these professional zero-turn mowers from Husqvarna, and I'm sure most of them made them really simple to work on. So I was running it, so it is a little bit hot. So I wanted to go ahead and get the fan back here and get it a little bit cooled off. Y'all, I set stuff down and can't find it. So this will be the first set of plugs this mower's ever had. This is the original plugs that came with it. So we're gonna see what they're gonna look like together. Really not all that bad, y'all. Not that bad at all. But we got a set of nice new plugs. So that is hot. You always want to make sure that you're getting your spark plugs. If you're doing this yourself, you want to make sure that you're getting plenty of the spark plug being screwed in. You want to make sure it goes all the way until it bottoms out like that. You don't want it, if it tightens up right there at the beginning, you got something wrong. You done cross-threaded it, you done something. Stop right there. Don't get a ratchet and try to tighten it all over going in. You don't want to booger up a spark plug hole. That'll be the end of it. Then all you're going to do is turn it. You'll actually feel that little ring. There's a little ring behind it. That's it. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. I know most of you know, but I'm just showing, some of you might not know. Right there where my thumb is, there's a little aluminum ring. And when you're screwing it in, you tighten it all the way down to that little ring right there. And then when you do that extra little snugging, it's just an aluminum ring. You're actually compressing that ring. And that's how you know when your spark plug's tight. You don't want to keep on going with it. You don't want to keep on going with it. Just want to put it in there. And you definitely want to hear that snap. Y'all heard that ping. You want to make sure that your end on your spark plug wire has not pulled off and went up in your wire or anything like that. And then you'll just be getting an arc to your spark plug. You want that, it's like a little metal boot inside of this rubber boot that snaps on that end right there. So you want to definitely make sure you hear that little snap it going back on there. Or you're going to have some problems, some misfires and stuff like that. And you don't want that. Well, I know one thing on this mower right now that I am going to have to replace. And that is the coil pack. And the reason I know that is before this video, before I brought this mower over here, when I turned y'all off after I showed you the filters originally, I went over there and hosed the mower off, just trying to clean it off some so it wouldn't be something nasty for me working on it. And y'all, I could not get this mower cranked back for nothing. So that tells me one thing. The coil pack has a crack in it. And I've noticed on this mower too, when Miki's cutting, if she cuts it off or anything like that, or comes off the seat from a bad bump or something and it cuts off, it will not crank back until it cools down. So that's telling me, both of those things are telling me that the coil pack has a crack in it. And until it cools down and that crack goes back, it won't crank. When it heats up or it got water in it, then that crack and it shorted it out and it's not wanting to run. Like right now, I can crank it up and it'll run fine. Because it's dry, it's not hot. I only ran it for like 5 minutes while I was doing that. And by the time I get through with these plugs, it's going to be completely cooled off and should crank right back. But so I know I'm going to have to go buy a coil pack for this. Go ahead and get that taken care of. So I'll probably have to order one. Let's see what plug number 2 looks like. Like I say, this mower's got about 200 and I can't remember exactly. 298 hours and something. I can't read it. This plug looks pretty good too. You can see the little electrodes a little bit wore out on it. That's expected. I mean, like I say, these are the original plugs. So they're not going to look like the brand new ones. Bring that back up. Brand new plug. So you want to make sure you're screwing that plug all the way in. If it stops out, and if you're screwing it in and it don't go quite as far as you think it should for all them threads that's on there, you need to stop right there because you don't want to mess something up. That's it. You just snug it down. You don't want them too tight. Y'all heard that snap. All right, while we're here, let's go ahead and just blow the air filter out. Let me close this oil tank up, the reservoir, because I do not want any dust getting down in that. Let me add a little bit more oil to it, y'all. This done went down past that thing. It's gonna seep down. Let me cut y'all off and go ahead and get some more oil filtered. I've been filtering it through a funnel and through the cloth into this container. All right, I'm gonna say again, it's okay to reuse oil like that. This is gear oil or something like that. Or if you just changed your engine oil in your lawnmower or something yesterday and you had a leak or something, yeah, it's okay to drain it out and reuse it. But I would not reuse motor oil. But something like gear oil, it smells fine. Smells brand new. I just wanted to catch it in that pan because, like I say, $14 for a bottle of oil. It's mostly got new in it, but I'm having to top it off with a little bit of the old oil, but I'm straining it out through cheesecloth. So let me get that back up. The wind coming along, y'all. Blew it over. Sorry, I'll come back. I think we're about to get a storm or something like that. But you don't want to reuse motor oil or anything like that. This is okay. Alright. Oh, that's loud. Alright, everything's closed off. I got the 2 reservoirs closed off, the caps on the motor oil, so you don't want any dust and stuff blowing in that. So let's pull this air filter out. Y'all gonna see a dust cloud, and you always blow your air filters from the inside. Alright, there's a lot of people that's going to say, man, that was bad. That wasn't bad. I've seen a whole lot worse. But that's your first defense in your motor oil. So you definitely want to keep that as clean as you can. Because your air goes through there and then it gets into your motor oil. So any dust in there that you can keep out will keep your motor oil cleaner longer. Alright, that's pretty much everything on here. All I got to do is wait on that oil to strain through the cloth and get a little bit more in here. Then we'll take it out for a test run. Alright, I'll bring y'all back along with me when we go back out. Let me clean up my mess here, wipe my hands off. Done nasty and greasy. So we'll be right back at it. Alright, extremely disappointing. It's almost dark and we didn't get nothing accomplished today. All we got was this 0-turn mower pretty much patted down. I'm going to take it for a first test run here and get that oil flowing in it, and we're going to see if we're going to have to top it off again But y'all, I was really hoping to get to the tractor and get the oil changed in the tractor too. The more you do, the more you feel like you at least get something done. So let's go take this for a ride. It's not doing too bad, but I think it's gonna need some oil. It ain't gonna take it long to suck it down while you're moving. So we'll just have to find out. You can actually hear it. Sounds like, believe it or not, it sounds like it's mostly coming from the right side, not wanting to turn right. So we know that side's gonna need some oil. Let's see where they are. Let me cut y'all off. So sitting on the mower, the right side, or facing it, the left side, has taken all the oil down already. Where it sat there and wasn't doing that. So we're gonna go ahead and top that one off, take it for another ride. All right, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you, that took forever. I didn't take y'all along on that. I took you on one ride, but I had to fill those reservoirs up 4 more times. And I've been just sitting here cutting a little bit of grass, come back, check them, add more oil to it, go out, cut a little bit of grass, come back. And I believe I just barely had enough oil. I put everything I had back into them, and I might end up, after using it, if I use it for like an hour or something like that, I might end up having to just go get another quart, $14 more. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll be back over here tomorrow and changing the oil in that tractor. I'll bring y'all along with me on that. It'll probably be a whole separate video because this one probably doesn't bore y'all out your minds now. Hopefully Mikey can edit it down a little bit to get it a little entertaining. Like I said, there was really nothing to do today. It's 100 and something degrees. It was miserable. Even sitting over here in the shade with a fan going, I was sweating like a pig. But this stuff had to get done. It's stuff that's been being put off and put off and put off. And at least the more, I think, is at least 99.9% certain it's completely done. After cranking it up, those plugs were evidently causing a little bit of the problem with that more cranking, because it cranks right up now when it's hot. So the plug could have had a crack in the insulator on the plug. So we'll test it out. Hopefully I don't have to go buy a coil pack, because that probably will be $50, $60 right there. So that it could have been easily just a spark plug on the porcelain part of it. Could have had a crack in it, and as it heats up and I got water in it, it didn't want to crank. So, or when it's hot, it'll expand and not want to crank. So it cranked right up as soon as I touched the key. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully that'll work out for us and save us some money. Nothing but a set of plugs. So like I say, homesteading is what it is. You can't always, it ain't all glamorous. You go out playing in a garden, just picking vegetables or feeding animals and showing the cutesiness of that. It is a lot of work. Anybody that does it will tell you that. It's a lot of work. You have to maintain the equipment. You have to clean stalls. You have to get the garden and sweat and pull weeds. Get out there and get chewed up by fire ants. Work on days that it's 100 degrees and get sweaty. Not all glamorous. So there is a lot of work involved in it. So thank y'all for coming along with me today. Hope y'all have a great night. And like I say, be another video. Y'all catch me back up with me while I'm changing the oil in that tractor. So thank y'all. Have a great night. God bless. Y'all come back and see us soon.